Hi everyone. Uh, this is the video presentation for our topic. My group is formed by Melanie Vega, Cristian Martinez, and I, Sergio Solorzano. Okay, our topic is document review. Okay, and at first we need to have a definition for this topic. Okay, uh, what is document review? Document review is the way to collect data for existing material. And what I mean for existing material, for example, educational documents, thesis, research project, those kind of documents that can be reliable, that you can trust, okay, that can be in order to be verified. Then we have the process that also it is the process in order to discover new information. What I mean with this, okay, for example, you can have more information about your research that helps you in order to see better the landscape of the project, if you know what I mean. Yeah, also it is the legal process in order to have um, more information. Okay, you can go and have now new information for your topic, and you can reach the knowledge from that research. Also, it gives us a better perspective about your topic. What I mean with this, for example, it is important to know that the previous research projects uh, follow the structure that helps a lot in order to have a good resolution. But with this help us in order to know better if we find possible problems through the time and to create great strategies in order to overcome them. If you know, also the problems can be not only for from the information, also it could be, for example, with people or the cases, and it gives us the important tools in order to do not have that kind of problems of them. Then we have the characteristics. With the characteristics, we can give more information about document review. For example, give us the data to answer how and what about your problem. I mean, for example, at first you need the sample in order to follow the structure in your research project. Okay, you have the sample, but you need to know what kind of people will be involved in your project. For example, if you need to know how much vocabulary has a group in the University of El Salvador, let's say, talking in general, in licenciatura en idiomas. Okay, you need to know the exact group that you need to take in account in your project. For example, it could be any level of English, because you know that the purpose of this signature is to communicate. Sorry, to communicate your ideas better. So that it is the strategy that it gives us. Okay, what kind of people it matches better in your project. Also, give us, for example, the number of people that you really need. For example, talking about the sample, if the population is around 100, guys, you need the sample from that for the all the population that you take in account in order to have a good research project. What else? Also, it gave us, for example, uh, about how much, about talking about cost, how much you need in order to develop a good uh, research project. I mean, for example, uh, taking account that you have to observe that group. Okay, you need to go to that class. Also, taking in account the questionnaires that you need, or extra material that you need in order to develop interviews. Sorry, questionnaires are something that you really need through the process. I don't know, maybe the the hours that you spend in the cyber cafe, or also if you need to use internet connection or something like that. That that give us a better perspective that you really need on it. Then we have gather background information. With this, we have the information, for example, the history, philosophy of past projects. What I mean, okay, you take in account the opinions and the information that they have in past projects, and it help you a lot in order to create a new one information. I mean, or to add something else, but not copy and paste. What I mean with this, okay, you have all that information, and it give us a general perspective about it. But you don't need to copy and paste to your project. You need to create a new information in order to to have a new research project that help the future projects and add more and reach that knowledge, if you know what I mean. Then we have the uh, reliability about the process of the project. What I mean with this, okay, if you have different steps with your project, okay, you have a lot, but let's say an example, you follow the structure A, B, C, but with these general ideas that the document review gave us, you, you consider that the better strategy for taking into account this uh, question that you have to develop to your project to your project is better to start with B, A, and C as an example, in order to face better the possible problem that you will face in the future. Uh, that would be a great idea in order to be prepared and to create a better strategy and better plan to develop your project. Also, it says that to develop data collection tools and evaluations. Okay, it gave us enough information to help us to create great uh, questions for the correct questions that you need the exact information for your research. What I mean, for example, you need to ask something specific to the sample, something that you really need for develop your investigation, to formulate better questions, and also to understand better your topic, because we know a topic could be general and it has too many details. And sometimes when we start the investigation, we don't take in account all the details that we are going to face through the investigation. So it helps us a lot with it. The next step that I'm going to develop right now is the uses of method in this method. For example, at first we have assess existing documents. Okay. We find out different type of documents that made us think to answer our evaluation question. What I mean with this, for example, uh, that give us the information in order to formulate by ourselves if the question that we have is correct, that the objectives that we have are correct for the population, and what we need in order to achieve our objectives in the investigation. Then we have that it has or it provide different and variety existing sources for our investigation and collecting um, reliable data for it. Okay, that when that as I said before, that it gives us the enough material in order to develop. Also, and I consider that it will be a good use of this, that we summarize all the documents that we have. For example, uh, it reach the knowledge that you have of that topic, and also uh, you can make it shorter, and it gives us the better perspective because it will be more, let's say, mobile. Because well, you have the information, uh, and you know them, and okay, you know that information, and for example, if you are interview the sample, you know the what kind of information that you really need, and you have all the summaries on your mind on a paper, and you know what is the direction that you really need for that project. Also, uh, we we collect the relevant documents. What I mean with this, we can actually we know that we can find too many documents on internet or also in the university and the library or and different sources. So the thing is that you have to be specific what you really need with your uh, investigation and collect the the information that you really need for it. Okay, and the last step of this video is where I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, I'm sorry, I I have the flu. So advantages. At first, it has, for example, the reliability of the sources that we have. Okay, we have the documents that it could be supported by an university, um, any kind of institution that it is the purpose to have that kind of knowledge. So we have uh, documents that can be proof that they are true. Also, it gives us a good background information. Okay, that I mean that you have the better perspective for your investigation. Okay, you have the enough information for develop your investigation, and you really know what it will be the next step for it. Also, it provides the behind scenes. What what I mean with behind scenes. Well, actually, we know that all the problems that carry the investigation carry out, and the thing is that we really know what happened and what were the difficulties for any group, and we, for example, we can do uh, the things different in order to have a better investigation and to have, mm, let's say, better resources for that, taking into account the problem that they had, and we can anticipate that kind of things. Then we have the disadvantages. The disadvantages, uh, at first, we can take the time that we spend in order to read all the documents and to be specific what you really need. Imagine you have 100 of documents, 100 documents, and the thing is that you need to read them in order to know what documents are relevant for you. Okay. Then we have, for example, uh, could be based because selector server. Okay, the thing is also that you know the time that select the document that you have, all the time that you really need in order to develop your investigation. Uh, in that information could be a totally mess. I mean, for example, it can be in disorder, and you need to have an order in order to catch the better idea in order to develop your investigation. As a conclusion, I can say that document review is a vital part of the investigation process. Why? Because actually we need the background in order to know what we need in our investigation. Also, we need that extra information in order uh, to be prepared. Let's say that document review is like a guide for investigation. Okay, we have vital parts for the investigation process, but document review is a part that gives us a solution for our problems. Also, give us a different perspective. Open the window and you can see the horizon of your investigation, and you can see the whole landscape for it, and it gives us a better uh, expectation for what we have in those documents and what can be with our investigation, and what could be the better strategy for it. So, thank you so much